Now fuel. So before we start fuel, we should know what is combustion. Combustion is burning of a substance in presence of oxygen. And if the substance is able to burn in the presence of oxygen, that particular substance is combustible. And if it cannot burn in the presence of oxygen, then the substance is non-combustible. So fuel is a combustible substance containing carbon as a major constituent, which on proper burning gives large amount of heat, and this heat which is produced can be used up for domestic and industrial purposes. Now fuel, when it interacts or reacts with oxygen or it burns in the presence of oxygen, we get a product which is known as combustion product, plus heat is liberated. This heat which is liberated can be further used up for domestic and industrial purposes. Now the combustion products on complete combustion is carbon dioxide and we have water. And if the combustion is incomplete, then in place of carbon dioxide we get carbon monoxide. But if we see the combustion product, the heat content in the combustion product is very less. Now primary or the main source of fuel are coal and petroleum oil. Now the chemical fuel is divided into two parts, primary and secondary. Primary is also known as natural fuel, which is naturally occurring. Secondary or derived fuel, because secondary or derived fuels are derived from natural fuels. Then primary fuel is of three types: solid, liquid and gas. The example of solids are wood, pith, dung, coal. The liquid fuel is crude oil. Gas is natural gas. Then secondary fuel is also divided into three: solid, liquid and gas. Solid, for example, charcoal or petroleum. Liquid is diesel or petrol. Gas is coal gas, water or biogas. Then when the fuel burns, then we determine the calorific value. So the calorific value can be defined as total quantity of heat liberated when a unit mass of fuel burns completely. When a given quantity of fuel is burning completely, the amount of heat which is liberated, that accounts for the calorific value of that particular fuel. Now, we have units of fuel. The first unit of fuel is calories. It is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Then kilocalorie, it is the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius. So calories and kilocalories definition is same, but here the amount of water is 1 gram and here the amount of water is 1 kg. 1 kilocalories is equal to 1000 calories. Then the next unit is British thermal unit. When we study British thermal unit, then in British English, weight is given by pounds. So it is defined as the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 pound of water through 1 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature in British English is given by Fahrenheit and weight is given in pounds. 1 British thermal unit is equal to 0.252 kilocalories. And the last unit is centigrade heat unit. It is the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 pound of water through 1 degree centigrade. So here the weight of water is same, 1 pound, but here the temperature is given in degree Fahrenheit and here the temperature is given in degree centigrade. 1 kilocalories is equal to 2.2 Chu. Now, we have two types of calorific values: gross calorific value, or it is also known as high calorific value, GCV or HCV. And the second is net calorific value or low calorific value. It is NCV or LCV. The gross calorific value is defined as the heat produced when a unit mass of fuel burns completely and the combustion product are cooled down at room temperature. Net calorific value, it is the heat produced when a unit mass of fuel burns completely and the product of combustion are allowed to escape. So the difference between gross and net calorific value is, in case of gross calorific value, the combustion products, they are not allowed to escape. They are cooled down at room temperature and they are stored. Whereas in net calorific value, the combustion products, they are allowed to escape. So if we see in numeric terms, then this is smaller and gross is larger. Then we have characteristics of a good fuel. A good fuel should have a high calorific value. Then the second is related to ignition temperature. It is the lowest temperature at which the fuel should be preheated before the actual burning starts. So for a good fuel, the ignition temperature should be moderate, because if the ignition temperature is low, then we cannot store fuel and we cannot transport the fuel easily. And if that ignition temperature is high, then it becomes difficult to ignite the fuel. Then the moisture content of the fuel should be low, because if the moisture is present, then heating value of the fuel is going to reduce. Then non-combustible content should be low in the fuel. If non-combustible content are higher in the fuel, then those non-combustible material is going to be converted into smoke, or it is going to be converted into ash. So they are going to cause pollution. Then next is combustion rate should be moderate. So the rate of combustion should not be very high, or it should not be very low. If the combustion rate is very high, then the reaction becomes uncontrollable. And if the combustion rate is low, then there are heat losses. Unnecessary heat losses are going to take place. Then the products obtained should not be harmful. There should be no harm should be produced by the combustion product. So non-combustible material should be low, in other words. Then it should be of low cost, it can be easily transportable, and should be pollution free. It should not cause pollution and it should be easily transportable. The cost of fuel should be low. Then we have types of fuel, and we have three types of fuel. The first is solid fuel. The advantages of the solid fuel is it can be transported easily store कर सकते हैं. The cost of production is low and the ignition temperature is moderate. But the disadvantages of solid fuel are non-combustible material is there, so ash is produced, thermal efficiency is low, the combustion we cannot control combustion, जो handling cost है वो बहुत ज़्यादा high होती है, and it requires large amount of air for combustion. So the second type of fuel is liquid fuel. The calorific value of the liquid fuel is high. The non-combustible material in liquid fuels are low. So dust and ash which is produced is less, or no dust or ash is produced. The fire can be extinguished easily if the fuel is liquid. The heat losses while combustion is low. It requires less air for combustion. Now the disadvantages of the liquid fuel are it is very costly. There is a risk of fire hazards and the smell is not good. So bad odor. Then the third is gaseous fuel. The advantages of gaseous fuel are it has got high calorific value. It can be easily ignited. The combustion can be easily controlled. It is not going to cause any pollution. And even if we are having a poor quality coal, it can produce gaseous fuel. The disadvantage of the gaseous fuel is the first major disadvantage is the storage problem, where to store the gaseous fuel. It is highly inflammable. It can easily catch fire and the gaseous fuels are very costly.